What happens when you're a father and you're going through a separation or you're divorced and there's a custody arrangement, yet you get a job offering maybe 100 miles away and it might cost you to move? What do you do in these situations? How might that affect you? And most importantly, what is it that men do who really go through this? Not just what the self-help industry or the manosphere says of what it means to be a man, but what happens when men really work through this. And I really want to talk about this because this is a question that came up on our Austin Men's Development Board actually today, and I just wanted to make a quick video about it because, man, this is where a lot of the advice out there given to men is incomplete, ends up in failure, and really serves God, man, to help divide families more and make men fail in many different ways. I want to tell you the real story of what men do to better themselves in this situation. So let's get to this video. All right, I need some more light here. Gentlemen, what's happening? Steve Maeda here. I'm the founder of Austin Men's Development, where we work with men nonstop, constantly on subjects like this. In fact, it's so crazy because in about 25 minutes from now, we're going to start our Rising Man Call. We do those on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's an amazing thing. It's one of the best deals in town. And for something like 60 cents a day, you can be a part of that course. It is, if you're a man looking to better yourself in any sort of way, I highly, highly recommend it. But then also after that, we're going to be on the Clubhouse app, and that is one of the best discussions on sex that you're going to hear. I know that freaks people out, but I do a room with Eric Everhard, who wrote one of the best books on sexual techniques ever. I was fortunate enough to be able to proofread it or to sample it and test it out a year in advance. So I've actually had it for 2 years. You should definitely pick that up. But also Rachel Starr is in the room, Crystal Morris, and Johnny Cassell, who's also another coach. And it's really one of the best discussions that you're going to hear on sex, relationships, and what really happens in those situations, because another hot topic that everybody seems to get wrong in terms of men's advice. That being said, we do a lot here at Austin Men's Development. I do a lot with my companies, and this question has to do with fathers, and it has to do with fathers who are separated. And this is one of those things that we get wrong a lot when it comes to advice for men. Is this gentleman, he got offered a job that's significantly larger amount of money that might be worth moving, but his kids live an hour or so away. And one of the narratives that we hear all the time from women, and then another version of that narrative from the men's development industry, is that you got to do what's best for your kids, or you have to rebel and you can say F it to your ex and do what's good for you. And neither of these things are good. So your ex might tell you, if you move away and take another job, that you're abandoning your kids, and that these things are habitual for you, and you're just a typical bad guy, and all these different sorts of things, and it gets kind of ridiculous. But you feel that as a man, and that's a big thing. And then when we go to the men's development industry and we say that we feel this, they say, man, that's what a pussy feels, and that's not right, and you're wrong for feeling that, and all these different things. And that's also wrong. The fact of the matter is it's really cut and dry of what we need to move on in this, is that when you're going through a divorce or you're separated, it hurts to be away from your kids. That sucks, and that's real, and you should be proud of that feeling, and you should work through it, because in working through it, you become a great man. Again, if that's your situation, get on the Rising Man. Again, it's like really, really affordable. We made it that way for you guys to be able to do it. But the other thing too is that you have a different dynamic. Your dynamic isn't that you stay at home with the kids 24/7. Hopefully you've already moved it past that area in your development of self. If not, man, again, let us help you get through that. That's really pivotal. In Divorce and Custody, the Survival Guide for Men, we have a timeline for this and how we work with you on it and so on. But that's very, very important. But if we get past that, where we're like, man, I'm shocked and in pain from not being around my kids daily, and we get past that area, we need to realize that we have a separate relationship. We're not the primary parent. Or if you are the primary parent, you are. But if you're not the primary parent. That means that you are allowed to spend 5 days a week away, or you can do whatever you want in that time. You don't need to accept the guilt or the pain that you feel in your head from other people. You don't need to buy into false things like like that you have to be alpha and say F it to your ex, or hater, or be strong, or buy into some narrative about how you need to go to the gym 5 times a day or whatever. You go to the gym, you do strong stuff as a man, you do that because you want to be healthy or you want it to affect that expression. You don't want to do that because you're insecure. And eventually, as we get to this post, I told the guy, if this doesn't affect, and this is another important thing, does this affect your custody arrangement? So sometimes if you live outside of a county, it may affect your court order for your custody arrangement, but usually it doesn't if you're not the primary. So in my case, it does not matter if I am outside of the county. It's just that when I have my kids, I have to be inside the county. You should talk to a lawyer about this. It's very, very important to understand it. But if I need to work outside of the county and so on and yada, 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 that's how it works. Now, ultimately, if you're in an amicable agreement with your ex, these things will all be very easy to navigate and so on. And you should be able to make this happen. So that being said, I told the guy, I think you should take the job. If it's more money and you're going to be happy with your new place where you're living and it's not going to affect your court order, your job is to do this. It is to build a foundation for your kids. And that is super important. So many people don't build foundations for their kids. They buy into this narrative that is sold to them by other men or their exes or women giving advice to men that are ill-intentioned or that they shouldn't be doing it. Maybe unqualified is a better, their intention is good, but their qualification is not good. So this is really important. And this is a tough decision. And this is something that we need to discuss. All of my information literally comes from working with men for 15 years on these subjects, having calls, for the last 11 years, or maybe 12 at this point. Last 11 or 12 years, we've had calls at least once a week, and we've never missed a week, but now we have like 8 calls a week or something like that. Now there's all this Clubhouse stuff, so it's pretty crazy. It comes from experience, and it comes from men that I've known, that I've worked with, that I've helped move through these different processes, as well as myself moving through these processes. And it's really an amazing thing. And that's what we teach. That is what we do. That is what we offer with the Rising Man product. Again, if you really want to step it up, I always talk about men's development excellence. That's the real place where we dive deep on it. But this is something that's very important for us in our process to go through and to not buy into all this other stuff. Very, very important for you to build a foundation for your kids as they grow up, so that you gain your independence as a single father and to know what that means and to navigate through the difficult emotions through it. Because you have emotions or different things piss you off or upset you or make you sad or hurt does not make you weak. You denying those and taking on a false front is one of the weakest things you can do. And the sad thing is you won't know how weak that is until like 5 years down the road when everything falls apart. But to pass through those things and walk through them as men, which is what we do, is literally one of the strongest things you can do. Check out the stuff in the links below. And if anything, just come by the Austin Men's Development Facebook group. It's free for anybody in the world. Our groups are international. It's something that is very, very important that if you're going through some sort of changes in your life, to do. One last thing. I'm working on PDF right now. I actually want to finish this video so I can get on that PDF that's on fatherhood. And I really think you guys will enjoy it. We'll talk to you guys soon and enjoy your day. Thanks.